Station 3, the First Crusade. Pope Urban's call to repel the invading Seljuks prompted the first of 9 total attempts by European Christians to reclaim the Holy Land. However, it is important to remember that Jerusalem had been controlled by a Muslim dynasty, the Abbasids, for over 450 years prior to the First Crusade. It was the invading Seljuk Turks that prompted the war, both to protect the Byzantine Empire and to secure safe travel to Jerusalem. The First Crusade started in November 1095, and the 30,000 crusaders who traveled faced an arduous journey. Since crusaders did not control the ports on the eastern Mediterranean, traveling by water was not an option until they had secured the region. Most marched over 2,000 miles with heavy armor, weapons, and little food or fresh water, as they planned to procure their means of survival on the journey. Crusaders underestimated the length of the expedition, and malnourishment plagued the majority of soldiers. With no fresh water, soldiers were forced to drink each other's urine and even the blood of their horses and donkeys. In June of 1099, the weak, sick, and exhausted Christian army finally arrived in the Holy Land. Under any other circumstances, the Christian crusaders would have been easily defeated, but by the time they arrived in the region, the Seljuk dynasty had begun to crumble. What once stood as a staunch, unified force had broken into chaos with little organization. As a result, the Europeans were able to easily surround Jerusalem and breach the city's walls. Upon entering, crusaders cut down anyone they saw. Muslims and Jews were slaughtered in multitudes, and left one crusader to write that the city was ankle-deep in blood. The city now belonged to the Christians. The crusader established four kingdoms in the region to further buffer the city against invasions: Jerusalem, Antioch, Edessa, and Tripoli. Castles and forts were constructed. However, they soon would be overrun again by the invading Muslim force. The First Crusade would be the only one that the Christians would win. The picture up here says, many crusaders wore a red cross on the First Crusade, like the one shown above. The 4 smaller crosses are said to symbolize the 4 books of the Gospel: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.